Welcome back BD1P fans to another speed running video. Today is the April's Fool challenge. Now, I got quite a few requests to run this one, and my first thought was like, this is not going to be that interesting. You know, it's a pretty basic challenge. The only different thing is that every boss is the bloat and pickups are randomized. But I found it at least somewhat interesting because the map is all weird, and the map being weird messes up your pathing quite a bit. It's like, all right, I mean, either way, it'll be annoying to run. We'll just go for it and do it. So originally, my strat was going to be finding a, zero charge active item and just spamming that over and over until we got, the desired effect of, we need to go deeper or things like that. However, as I kept doing that, I started getting like Plan C, which kept killing me, Blood Rights Eraser, which also killed me, and it just took, it was literally more RNG than it needed to be. So I said, you know what, whatever, man. I'm just going to go for a co-op sacrificing route here, and I got a run that started out with Chocolate Milk and Godhead. And to be honest with you, this is pretty much all the power we have in this. This is about like a 13-minute run. This goes to Mom's Heart, and every single boss is the bloat. Now, looking back at it, this run isn't the fastest. I mean, it's really hard to run a challenge when the map is all weird like this and you can't see where you're going half the time. So that's my own slack right there. But this is just not, to me, it wasn't very fun to run, but a lot of you wanted to see it, so I thought I'd just get it done. So right now what I'm doing is just going to the boss fight. And you can see, evidence already of the map being super strange. So the map in this challenge, every room is assigned a different map ID. So when you walk into a room, the map shows you somewhere random on the run. So you really can't gauge where you are. And you'll see here the first boss is, you guessed it, the bloat. There is a strategy you can use to make this fight faster. And I don't believe I do it on the first couple floors because it's really finicky to do. And when my HP is like this, it's not the safest strat. I do it here a little bit, so you can consistently stand below. It works better when you're on the side of him, but you can consistently stand below him to get him to fire brimstone and keep him down on the ground to get more fire off. But here is a very good strategy. So I found Small Rock in this boss fight, and if you're unaware, every pedestal you spawn into a boss fight room in co-op will give you X amount of items per players you have. So spawning that in there didn't just get me Small Rock and dog food. I also got a range upgrade there, and sadly I was out of bombs. And you want to kill your second player before you enter the new floor, because if they die on this floor to an enemy, you lose your devil deal, percentage chance. But by running him into the curse room there, I actually got him to lose the chance, or to lose his life, but not lose the chance, which is one of the, I don't want to call it a big brain strategy, but it's one of the bigger brain strategies that we use on this run, because this is basically just, what this is it's a normal Isaac run with a couple gimmicks. The biggest slowdown on this run are the caves floors. For some reason, my cave floors were generated in such a way where like every big room was the wrong path, and normally the big rooms, because they have more branching paths off of them, are the right way to go. But either way, I wasn't going to sit through another whole like 6 hours of holding R and sacrificing, holding R and sacrificing, and holding R. You get the idea. It's not that fun to do. Now, if you do manage to somehow find like a single charge active and get a bunch of we need to go deeper and stuff and not get Plan Seed or Razored or any of that stuff, congrats, you can easily beat this record. But record is a very strong word. Now, people get upset when I use co-op for some reason, which I don't understand, because every game that has a co-op mechanic has a separate category for running it in co-op anyways, and I'm not doing this run for any kind of... Also, watch this hilarious death. I'm buying the item, the fire shoots out a tear at the other Isaac, killing him. I don't gotta waste a single bomb there. But a lot of games like that, like think of Mario Odyssey, for example, one of the most popular speed games of this era, has a co-op category for playing co-op mode. And another thing is, I'm not going for like some kind of world record here. This is just me, showcasing theoretically what your faster runs could be. Now, these runs that I do here are obviously me doing it naturally. This isn't theoretical, this is an actual run. But I like to talk about in these videos how you could do it faster and how we can improve upon this. And the biggest way you can improve upon this would be a single charge active item and a bunch of dumb luck, as well as pathing. Because I look at this right here. Like, I can't tell where the hell I am. I went to 2 big rooms and it looked very promising this way. I walk into this next room here and I'm like, okay, I take Bird's Foot for the extra damage. Oh, this was the right way. Maybe it's next floor that sucks a lot. Next floor might be the one that's really, really bad. Right? I get turned around forever. But yeah, here I don't use the bloat baiting strategy. I don't really have a name for it yet. I just kind of like, free ball whenever I talk about it. But your best bet is to stand like right next to his eyes on a horizontal axis and move up and down so you keep him on the ground and you can keep dealing damage instead of him jumping in the air. Because when he goes in the air like this, I mean, you can't hit him. You're not going to do any damage. The fight's going to take forever. But here I get synth oil, which is more damage. I get a card. I'm hoping for an Emperor card. It is not an Emperor card, sadly. I see my guy down there. I have no bombs left. We just go down. Weirdly enough, the only like actual decent items that I get in this entire run that's not like, you know, here's one damage up is Godhead and Chocolate Milk. So from the get-go, I pretty much know my build. And yeah, I could sit there for hours and hours and sacrifice even longer to try to get, you know, a Sacred Heart start, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're splitting hairs at that point because this challenge comes down to what do your pickups give you and what does your active item do? Strangely enough that I found on this challenge that when you pop your active item, if it's a book like Necronomicon, it'll play the animation for Necronomicon, but it won't activate that effect. It'll activate a random effect. Rip Isaac, by the way, gone too soon. That was D10, I believe. This is discount, like, delete this challenge, but it was still kind of fun to run, I guess. I mean, it was more annoying because I couldn't see where the hell I was going, and I have to navigate 2 players at once here, which was not fun, and, you know, if I could just see my, like, here's the thing. In co-op mode, I don't have an issue running it because you can see your map and see where your doors are, and I can just kind of, like, you know, blindly walk into them, which ends up being fine, right? Like, normal runs, you know, in co-op, I can just see where the doors are. I can just walk blindly down to them with the camera being, you know, a bitch, but whatever. In this one, I can't see where my exits are because I don't have the map ready for it. So it's just very frustrating in that regard, but, you know, we get through it. We get through it. Here, I'm going to go into this item room. I think I get, yeah, I get Wafer here. So that kind of guarantees me winning this. So I decided just to go with the run because what I usually do when I run these is I'll play, like, one challenge for an hour. I'll go to a different challenge and try to get something on there so I don't get burnt out. I think I switched off of this. I think this is my 4th hour of resetting for this as well because I played this, and then I went to do some Red Redemption. Then I played more of this, went back to Red, and now I'm on this. And the Red Redemption run should be coming out in the next couple days. It was a 7-minute Red Redemption run, which was very, very impressive in my opinion. That challenge took me over a month to get, but we'll talk about that later. Either way, I see a Tinted Rock up there. I have no bombs to grab it. I walk down. There's no door. I'm like, okay, I can't see shit. I don't know where the hell I am. There's a shop to my left. I don't see that. I can see on the map. You can see on the map kind of where your rooms are. But if you have a lot of, like, or if you have multiple big rooms or multiple L-shaped rooms, you can't differentiate the two. I already checked down there. Nothing to the right, so I keep going up. This floor cost me, like, the big bulk of my time. That's where a lot of my time, you know, loss stemmed from. But we finally found our boss fight here after 5 years of parading around this goddamn floor. And do I enact the strategy here? One of these floors I start doing it, and I'm like, all right, I feel safe enough to do it. But the problem is, you need to have reliable HP for that. And because I have the Wafer, I feel better. But the Wafer isn't like, you know, invincibility, right? The Wafer is still scary, and Green Bloat makes it harder to stand next to him because of the creep. So I think I'm a little nervous here to do it. But he's dead anyways. I don't get a deal here, obviously. Pentagram for more damage, and Magic Scab for HP. Lovely. Head on down. Again, no bombs to kill my friend with. Oh well, that's fine. I don't really care too much. Keep going on. He dies to that shot, I believe. Yep. But yeah, this challenge goes to Mom's heart. Like, this is one of the... This sounds like it'd be a fun one to run because it's all wacky and random and quirky XD, but it's really... I don't know. I don't find it super interesting. The biggest pull for me is that, like, the drops are relatively random, so you can get, like, a red heart out of a penny, and you can make some sacrificing stuff happen with that. But I've come to think that sacrificing is, like, a lame way to get these runs done, but I was struggling so hard to find a way to make this run viable and also interesting. And I thought the only way that is going to happen is if I sacrifice and get Godhead. And we do get Godhead here, so whatever. I mean, things happen. I might try it again in the future and go for a better time by using a single charge active, but I want to do other challenges. My goal is to do every challenge in the game by a certain point. However, a lot of them aren't that marketable for running. Like, no one's going to want to watch a video titled, like, how fast can you beat, you know, slow roll? Like, that's not that interesting to anybody. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't want to watch that video. Personally, I would find that could be kind of like a cheap attempt to grab some viewers, but whatever. We're going on to Depths 2 here. Again, because we're on a challenge, there is no Beast Door. It's the arcade instead. I don't stop to use it because there's no point. I mean, that would just take time for no reason. I'm starting to realize now that, like, I need to get some good pathing or this run is going to be like, you know, your regular-ass Isaac run. So I'm starting to try to, like, shape up here. Because I've had runs that have gone to Mom's heart faster that weren't speedruns, but I was just so tired of running this challenge. And to a certain point, like, this is pretty fast for this kind of, you know, deal because your items are random. Your active items aren't consistent. So you're not going to be able to get Mega or, you know, Mega Mush and run with that. Let alone Death Cert either. This is really funny right here. So I get magic skin, I pop it because I'm like, I don't want to see it again, and I keep it because I don't want to see it again. Now, if you notice there, the sprite for magic skin was an hourglass. The next time that I pop magic skin, it gives me the hourglass effect. I think it's just stupidly ironic. I mean, in the Nuzlocke for this challenge, I ended up picking up Tier Detonator, and it gave me the present effect, which killed the item, but dropped quad shot on the ground for me. So even if you get a single charge active, if that active, you know, uses Death Cert or Mystery Gift, it's going to take it away from you. So the single strategy active item thing is going to require, again, lots and lots and lots of dumb luck. And I don't know why, you know, I don't know. I might go back and do it. It's just that this run is fine enough, and if someone wants to sit here and reset for, you know, 6 hours so they get a Sacred Heart, like, Spirit Sword start, by all means, man, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. There's no glory in this shit. It's just me running the game for fun and showcasing some glitches and some unique quirks about challenges. And I bet, you know, I bet you learned something in this video. I bet you learned that, you know, coins don't always give you black hearts. You know, it's random. And that boss pedestals give you, you know, multiple drops per boss room if you have more characters in there, whether it be the actual boss pedestal or not. And the fact that, you know, you can kill Isaac with a curse room and not lose your percentage chance is funny. It's common knowledge, but, you know, it's still a little interesting, I guess. I take a lot of damage here. This room kind of sucks. I'm looking at my damage now, and I'm like, come on, 8 damage on Womb 2 and going down here at, like, within 10 minutes. That's impressive. It says pretty impressive, but it's still not that, like, you know, special. Like, for that, I got a soul heart, not a black heart there. Like, people are under the assumption that this challenge gives you set drops, and I don't understand why, because every time I play this challenge, I get different drops for the, you know, consumables. Like, sometimes keys give you black hearts, other times keys give you pennies, or keys give you bombs. I don't know why. I've heard people talk about coins only giving you black hearts and stuff. I considered sacrificing here just because I wanted to see what would happen, but I was like, it's gonna slow me down. I have one more floor to go. Why would I sacrifice for a strong item with only one more floor to go? The best thing is, though, thank God, on Mom's Heart, here, I do the strategy here to get the bait out so he stays on the ground. Mom's Heart actually is the bloat. Would I prefer to fight Mom's Heart or the bloat? On a speedrun, 100% the bloat. Because Mom's Heart has a lot of phases of invincibility. When she goes into the sky, like, you know, hides up there, or she spawns ads around her. This was the better option, I think. So I'm like, fuck it, we'll just go down here. I got a transformation, we're cool. The end of the run is coming up. We're about 10 minutes, 11 minutes into the run. I still think this is pretty fast. Like, you don't always make it down, let alone to Mom in 10 minutes. So Mom's Heart's pretty impressive to make down to in like 11 to 12 minutes. So I feel good about the run. It's just, I wish I could do more on this challenge. You know, I wish there was more of a pull for it. Like, think for how example, what am I trying to say? Think for how example, what else have I ran in the past? Like, Red Dead Redemption, that video's coming out soon. There's a big strategy when it comes to what items you use to try to skip the mother fight. Think of, Cantrip, the glowing hourglass strategy. Like, each of those runs has certain quirks to make it more, like, you know, it's like finding a skip in a game. It's more fun to run the game unintentionally than it is to run it intentionally. So when a challenge like this comes along and you really can't control anything, while it's still, like, you know, interesting to find out how fast you can beat this challenge, it's not as cool as, like, hey, you know, look at this glitch I found on this challenge where glowing hourglasses keep all the items that you want. It's a very different disconnect, but we're coming up in the end here. I gotta actually measure it for time when I make the thumbnail, but I think it's gonna be around 13 minutes of this. But yeah, we'll walk into the boss fight here and fight the bloat when I've actually find the door. And I think I have the waiver, so I sack a lot of HP just to make the run go faster. I send on blood, I'll bait the brimstone shots out. I want to keep him on the ground pretty much. Although it's not working out for me very well here because the bloat is just going into these phases of jumping in the air and not being, you know, not attacking me, which slows me down a lot. Final time is right when I touch the trophy, when that first animation hits, and that is time. If you enjoyed this run, please let me know down below what I should run next, whether it be a challenge or an unlock. Aside from that, all my socials are down below: Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 12 p.m. Central Time, but I'll see you guys later. Peace out, have a good rest of your day, and goodbye.